Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, so it's time for our weekly briefing. This briefing will cover the period from today, which is September 23rd, through next Wednesday, the 29th of September. Quick look at the tropics. That's probably the most exciting part of this briefing, and even that's leaving something to be desired. But they just named Sam, which is out in the central Atlantic, south central Atlantic, kind of midway between Africa and the Caribbean. So that storm is expected to slowly move westward towards the Caribbean through the next 7 days. And for the most part, we won't see much, if any, impacts here. The only impacts we may see in North Carolina in general might be some rip current threat, especially as Sam moves out north of the Caribbean, out into the Atlantic, whichever path that it does take, which is still, yet to be determined. But rip currents, as always with a tropical system out over the Atlantic, are potentially going to be an issue. Rose is all but dead. I think they issued the last advisory on that this morning, and then that area up in the northern Atlantic is the remnants of Odette. So it looks like relatively on par for this time of the hurricane season. Quick look at the weather pattern for the next 7 days. We may have some lingering showers out on the coastal plain and along the coast of North Carolina today, but otherwise expect the weather to remain dry and fairly seasonable through at least Monday, if not through the next 7 days. But forecast uncertainty does increase quite a bit from Monday onward. So stay tuned for hopefully some better agreement on that part by the time we get to obviously the Monday briefing. But hopefully in the next day or two, we'll have a little bit better handle on what's going to happen with that. And associated precipitation, again, dry through at least Monday. There's a chance with WPC showing some light amounts middle of next week, but again, that's highly dependent on what happens with the next set of weather systems, and they're pretty uncertain at this point in time. There's very little by way of model agreement for much of that, so stay tuned. With no rain and no significant weather systems moving through, as you would expect, there's no risk for flash flooding or really any rainfall whatsoever, and also no risk for any severe weather, at least not, in the foreseeable future. A little bit of an extended outlook here. You can see the Climate Prediction Center. We're expected to be near normal for temperatures and below normal as far as precipitation goes, which fits pretty well with the previous several slides. Just to summarize, dry, seasonable for the next 7 days. Hopefully forecast certainty will increase in the next couple of days for Monday onward, but for now, we're going to kind of leave that as a open-ended potential for the next rain for central North Carolina sometime midweek next week. And then just keep in mind Tropical Storm Sam out in the Atlantic. Beyond the next 7 days, still expected to be out over the Atlantic, with the only threat to North Carolina potentially being some rip currents, but that may not even occur until a bit later. So hopefully the Monday morning briefing next week will have a little bit better idea on the track of that. And that's all I have, so I will pause here if anybody has any questions.